And to create a curriculum, any curriculum that you have created is going to appear on this page. Right now you're seeing probably everything that's in the system, but you should be able to see only your curriculum whenever you come to this page. So the first thing I'm going to do is click Create a New Curriculum in the top left. And I also want to point out that there's a walkthrough tutorial. Anytime you see Show Me, that is going to be a walkthrough tutorial. And so if I click on this, it's going to tell me to click the Create a New Curriculum link. And then it's going to have me enter a title. So somewhere in the title, I would create some sort of indicator that, or personal identifier that this is Lubbock Power. So either Lubbock or LP or whatever you want to do. It's not only for you, but it's also for me. Plus we have several clients in the system that are in the power generation industry. So if we had fundamentals of power generation, there could be other clients that would use that curriculum name. So it's recommended that you have some sort of personal identifier in the name, be it either at the beginning or you can put it at the end of the name in parentheses. I'm going to call this one Tool Safety. Keywords isn't required, description isn't required. Vendor is required, and we have you in here, Lubbock P&L. So you want to select yourself as a vendor. Any owners or administrators in the system. So I'll select you. And if you have any other owners, you can select them as well. And owners are going to be users that would be able to edit this curriculum in the future. I'm going to add a subject. This can be anything you want. It doesn't really have to be specific. You just have to pick something. We have several subjects that are already in the system, as you can see. And I'm selecting Safety, Health, and Plant Science for this subject. And nothing else on this page is required. You can select Curriculum Player if you want. Curriculum Player is nice because it will show the percentage complete. Has a more kind of a fancy little outline for the curriculum. And it's something that you can turn off in the future if you want a more simple curriculum layout. Next thing I'm going to do is click the Next button. And the availability is very important because this is going to specify who can search for this curriculum. So if you do not want your users to be able to search for this curriculum, then do not select them. If you do want your users to be able to select this curriculum, then you can add division, and we'll add Lubbock. And this is going to specify that all users within your division can search for this curriculum. So if they were to type it up here in the search field, or if they were to go to browse for training, then they would see this training appear. If you do not want users to be able to search for it, then do not fill in anything there. You at least want to include your own name. And this is very important because if you are assigning this curriculum, then you want to have your name in there. So whenever you go to search for this curriculum or search for this training in the Learning Assignment tool, if this training is not available for you, then you would not be able to search for it.
Okay. Hey, and for clarity, if I make it unsearchable by everybody, that doesn't mean I can't assign it to them. It just means they can't search for it and find it.
That's correct. And
okay.
You're basically specifying who can search for this training.
Okay.
So, and that includes the Learning Assignment tool. So you have to include yourself so you can search for it in the learning assignment tool. If you do not include yourself, you're not going to be able to assign it.
Man, that'd be terrible.
And emails, let me back up another, to cover something. Include subordinates is going to have this, if you're a manager in the system and you click include subordinates, then anyone that is under you as a direct report is going to be able to search for this training. So you want to uncheck include subordinates, pre-approved. You can select those, but chances are you're not going to be enrolling yourself into this training. Pre-approved and register on approval would apply to if you're going to search for the training and enroll yourself into the training. So I'm going to skip emails, I'm going to skip pricing, and on the structure page, this is where we'll build the actual curriculum. I want to point out, do not check anything in the structure recurrence area. Just leave these as a default. And to build a curriculum, we have a couple of options. We can add a section, and that would be the little folder that is the left icon. And then there's also the add training icon. And those would be the only two that you should be using whenever you're building a curriculum. The section, this is going to allow you to add individual sections into the curriculum. So we'll call this basic safety. And I'll click save. I'm going to add another section and call this tools. Save. And then I can add individual courses. You'll see I have three icons for courses. I have one on each one of the section bars, and I have one on the main bar. If I click to add a course on the main bar, it's going to add it to the main section or the root section of the curriculum. If I click the, for this example, the basic safety bar, then it's going to add it to that section. So I'm going to search for my 101 courses. And you're seeing a lot of courses on here just because I have access to all the courses in the system. But one thing you want to pay attention to, if you ever do get to a place and you see a lot of courses that are being listed and you're not really sure what to pick, you want to make sure that you're picking the provider Martech Media-Lubbock P&L. So if I click the blue plus sign, it's going to add that. And let me shrink this window a little bit. Go to the next page. Okay, so I have three courses that are selected. Once I've selected my courses, I can click done. And it's going to add those to the structure. Same thing applies to the second section. Just going to add two courses to this section. And you can add as many sections as you want. You can add as many courses as you want. If you are setting this up, and you mentioned that you had a four-part curriculum, so that could be 4 individual sections. If you want to limit the user's availability for each section, let's say you have a section a quarter, then it might be a good idea to have those sections set as 4 individual curriculum. So you can assign one curriculum for the first quarter, the second curriculum for the second quarter, but that's really up to you on how you want to do that.
Okay.
There's these boxes over here are the sequence, and the way this is set right now, section 1 is a 1 and section 2 is a 2. That means that a user is going to have to complete all of the training in section 1 before they can complete the training in section 2. We can also set a sequence on the individual courses, and so this user would have to complete, or users would have to complete each of the courses in section 1 in order. So if we have a 1 in all of these boxes, and a user can complete anything in whatever order they want. We do want to make sure that all of these boxes are checked, and just to enhance the user's experience when launching the curriculum. For example, if we did not check these boxes, a user, instead of having a launch button, would have a request button. And so they would have to request the course and then register for the course, and then they would get a launch button. So if we check all of these boxes, they're not going to see the request and register buttons, they're just going to see a launch button. And this training, you can drag and drop training. And if I drag something over to the left, you'll see that it kind of pops out. And so we have these 3 courses that are within one container, this one course that's in another container, and this course is actually in the top container. So to drag it back into its section, we kind of pull it over to the right, it'll pop it back into that section. If you want to just check to see, to make sure all of your training is in a section, then you can click these arrows. So basically, that's all that you have to do to create a curriculum. Are there any questions?
No. Do y'all have one? I think we got it.
Okay, pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I want to cover the on-the-job training. I believe Kelsey was creating on-the-job training for your other training needs. Let me just review that. So if I go to catalog, the materials, on-the-job training is going to be located under materials. And I see one here, and this is basic pole climbing. So I'm going to open this up. I'll click the edit icon on the right. I'm going to look at the structure. This has a title. This has the training type. Of course, the provider. And at the bottom, this is set as on-the-job training. And so what Kelsey has done, she has set herself as the approver for this on-the-job training. So, and this is also allowing attachments. So I'm going to walk through the creation of this so you can see how it's created. I'm going to cancel out of this. So on the materials page, I'm going to click Create Material. And we'll call this one-on-one training. Select training, provider. I'm going to say this is going to take an hour. Resources, if you have any type of resource that you want to go along with this training, let's say if this is a new employee orientation, you could attach your new employee handbook as an attachment. Subject, again, I'm going to select any subject. If you, just to back up a second, materials act as 2 different types of learning objects in the system. It can usually be one or the other. One being, this can be a document that you want to assign to a curriculum, or it can be on-the-job training. And to make it on-the-job training, we would have to select the little on-the-job training checkbox at the bottom. But if we want to make this a material, this can be anything such as a Word document or a PowerPoint or a PDF. This can also be a link to a video that's on YouTube or something.
Awesome.
And so this is where we would add the URL for that website link. If we wanted to upload a video that we had hosted locally and load it to the LMS, then we can upload that here. The maximum size is going to be 50 megabytes. And this is going to show you all of the document types that are supported. And actually, it doesn't look like there is a video format that is supported. So if you do have video, then it would be recommended that you load that to some sort of hosting site such as Vimeo or YouTube.
Okay.
So the way Kelsey was using it, she was using for on-the-job training. So I'm going to select on-the-job training, requires on-the-job training completion observers. And this is going to basically specify who is going to be observing this training. And so we can specify managers. So this will make whoever is the manager in the system for this user, they will be required to observe this training. We also have observers by providers. And I don't believe we have that set up in the system for you. So what Kelsey was doing, she was selecting individual organizational units that would observe the training. So she was selecting herself. So what you would need to do is, let's see, if I want to be the observer, I'm going to select my name. And now I am the observer for this training. So if, whenever we assign this to a user, they will, or as an observer, you will be able to go to the admin on-the-job training observers option and observe the users and give them credit for this training. We also have options at the bottom. We can add training hours, add a score, add comments, and add attachments. So any questions about the setup and before I move on to availability?
I think we're good.
Okay. Availability is going to be the same as any other learning object. This is going to specify who can search for this training. So I at least want to select myself. And emails, we want to leave those as default. Go back and make sure I have my name, the name of the training correct.
So if Kelsey, if she didn't set us up as available for all these, we're probably not going to be able to search and find them.
You will be able to search and find them within this page.
Okay.
So you would not be able to assign them unless you are set up with availability. So if you're going to go in and say, for example, you're going to assign confined space and error monitors to a user, then you'd want to edit that training and select availability. And this looks like division is below. Actually, okay. You do need to select yourself available here so you could be an observer. Because right now she is set as the only observer.
Okay.
So, I'm going to move on to the learning assignment tool. I'm going to assign this training to someone. everyone know how to use the learning assignment tool?
No.
Okay. Well, the learning assignment tool is how we're going to assign training in the system. And again, this has a walkthrough tutorial. But to create assignment, I'm going to click Create Assignment. And I'll add a title to the assignment. So I'll say this is one-on-one training assignment. And then I'll select training. The title for the assignment doesn't, it's just for your reference. It's just going to show on the previous page. Users aren't going to see the title. So I have lots of training that's coming up. So I'm going to select my individual training types and select material. Apply filter. And this is the training that I have created. So if I wanted to search by provider, I could do that as well. And we'll just click Lubbock, add filter, apply filters. And now I can assign this training. I'm going to select the training. And I'm not limited to one piece of training. So if I decide, okay, I want this user to have personal protective equipment. I have to go in and make sure that I reselect all of my training types, apply filter, and I have some safety courses that I want to assign to the user. Click select, and the training appears in our selection. So if I decide I don't want the user to receive this training, I can just delete it. I click to the next page. And again, we're at the assignment workflow. So we're looking at assign and approved and registered. This is going to affect the way this shows up on a user's transcript. If we clicked assign, then a user would have to request and register. If we click assign, approve, and register, then a user is going to see a launch button rather than the request and register button. It's always recommended to click assign, approved, and registered. We'll leave everything else as the default. Schedule, this is going to let us specify whether or not we want this assignment to occur in the future. So let's say I want this to occur on September 3rd at 8 a.m. Then once this is completed, it will be scheduled for 9/3 at 8 a.m. But as a default, it's going to default to as soon as the assignment is submitted. I select my users. I select Michael.
Is there a way that we can assign that to like 20 guys at the same time?
Sure, you can assign this to
Group, division. Group. Oh, there you go. Job titles. As long as we go in and set those up first.
Yeah, let me see if you have any set up. Bear with me 1 second.
And that's the other thing, them linemen jump back and forth between groups so often. If we're going to do it that way, well, we're not assigning them this type of training. We're just keeping up with the OJT on them. Shouldn't be a big deal. If we're going to do it, we need at least you to be in the loop on when somebody changes.
Okay, so what we're looking at is we do have all your users set with job title. We have some that are set with department. We have some that are set, or pretty much all set with plant locations. So we have your job or division indicator as LPL. So if I type in LPL, then we have these job titles that are coming up. So I can select, go through and select individual job titles. I can go back and I can search for or plant locations. Again, leaving LPL, apply filter, and we'll choose the operations. If I click my selected tab, it'll show you everything that you have selected. So we have one individual user, we have 3 job titles, and 1 plant location. So I'm going to click select. And if I want to see what users are in this list, I can click the button Generate Initial User List. This is going to show there are 42 users. And I can scroll down and view all these users. There's going to be 20 per page.
I think operations is the SCADA operators.
So one thing that's very important that I want to point out is assign new occurrence. So we want to make sure this is selected if we want the users to receive a new occurrence of training. If a user has been in the system for a while and we want them to retake a course, they may have already taken it. We want to select Enable Assign New Occurrence. This is going to force a new enrollment for that training.
Perfect.
So I'm going to delete all of these
Yeah, we'll freak them out.
extra users. I just want to use Michael's for this example. And click Next and Submit. And whatever we first submit, this is going to be into an queued status, and training is not actually going to be assigned until the assignment changes to a process status. You see these other assignments, they're processed. If you have an assignment that is set to occur for a date in the future, let's say if we had the assignment set for September 3rd at 8 a.m., then this would not change to process until September 3rd at 8 a.m. One thing that is nice about setting something in the future is that you can cancel that assignment if you think you might have made a mistake. But once you click processed, if you have it to process immediately, there is no stopping it. It's going to occur. I'm going to refresh my page and see if this, wait for this to change to processed. I'll come back to this in a second. You mentioned soft skills, so if you, do you have a list of courses that are soft skills that are available?
I haven't seen it in a while. Since probably
Are any of you
10 months ago.
Any of you logged in at the moment?
No.
Okay.
I think I am.
Well, Randy is in the other room. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to log in as Michael, and I just wanted to ask because I didn't want to knock you out. You see your on-the-job training is appearing in your transcript. So this is saying pending observer completion. You can notify your observer that, hey, I have this training that you need to observe. So that's what it will look like. And you also have professional workplace training that you're pending observation on. So if I go to my catalog, click the catalog, course catalog, and I'm going to search for provider Skillsoft, and search. And here are my Skillsoft courses. And these are going to show up in your learning assignment tool as well. So if I go to learning assignment tool, create assignment, select training, go to provider. Actually, I might have lied. Okay, I'm going to have to confirm the availability on the soft skills courses.
Okay. Man, that Mark guy probably wants more money out of us or something.
Who's that? Mark Streifel?
Yeah.
No, it's just a permission.
Hey, next time you see Mark, give him a hug for us, would you?
Yeah, why is that?
I hadn't seen him in a while.
Okay. He'll probably look at me funny if I go in and hug him.
I mean, just walk in and hug him and don't say a word and say, hey, that's from LPNL.
Yeah, okay. Once we get off the call, I'm going to look at this a little bit more because it looks like you should have the ability to view those courses.
Okay.
I'm going to have to compare your permissions with Kelsey's and figure out what's going on with those courses. So anyway, going back to the training, I'm going to go back to the learning assignment tool, confirm that the training has processed, and now if I go to on-the-job training observers, you'll see that training is appearing, and so I have this training that I need to observe. So I can, if there were several users, then I could select all and bulk record their status. I can record your status by clicking on the record status link, and we'll say you've completed this in 1 hour, your score was 100. And if I wanted to attach something, for example, if a user goes and they completed training somewhere and you want to give them training for that and they have a certificate, you can upload that to this record. So if I click
and that's
record,
what Kelsey's been doing for all of our linemen, I'm assuming. Because
okay.
I think they were sending her the paper copies of the certificates, and she was uploading them and attaching them.
Do you have a name of one of those linemen?
My goodness. Do Anderson. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. Well, he's like a supervisor, Brady.
Let's go to department.
Yeah, it'll be right there, whatever. There you go, yeah. Well, production is, that second guy on that list right there it'll be all the guys that are under him, but that's fine.
We go to job title.
Yeah, apprentice lineman. Yep.
This one?
Pick. Yeah, you can pick any of those probably. Or they may not have any. You might have to pick level 2 or something.
I had Anderson in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
So I'm going to view this user's transcript. If I click view transcript on the far right, it'll take me to that user's transcript. And just to highlight, this is where you would change a user's password as well.
Okay.
I'm going to view this user's transcript. Go to their completed training. And okay, so he's had all of this training. And if I click on the details,
yeah.
So if there was an attachment.
Yeah, she's not uploading it. She's just, I guess, counting it from herself, I guess.
Yeah, if there was an attachment, it would show up on this page.
Okay. And I don't know that it matters. A lot of this stuff is recurring training. I think she was just wanting to get it in the system as a date.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this could be our system of record for all this. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to upload the documents.
Yeah.
We could get rid of the paper ones.
So, so we've covered how to create a curriculum. We've covered the on-the-job training, which is how she's recording this external training that's occurring. Soft skill courses, I need to go in and tweak some permissions so those show up whenever you are assigning training. And we have looked at assigning training as well. So Is there anything else that you would like me to cover?
Honestly, I think this will get us a good start. We've got a list of here. I think we need to fumble through it and kind of build some muscle memory. And maybe if we have any questions, we can call you back.
Sure, yeah. Let me show you a report that I think will help. The Enterprise Training Report is my favorite report. It's under Reports, Standard Reports, and Training. And the Enterprise Training Report, we click that. It'll take us to the Enterprise Training Report page, and we can select the criteria. I'm going to select all of LPL. So if I just click search, it's going to have all the training list that has been completed since 8/1/19. And it doesn't look like there's been a lot of training that has been completed. There's, well, been the one that I registered you for, Michael.
Yep.
And the others are registered. Those are the other two that I registered you for today. If I go back to an earlier date, let's say if I want to go back
January
to
1st.
January 1st.
Yeah. Or 8/1 of last year's fine. Whatever.
I'll do 1/1/18. Click search. We have 1,037 records that are showing up. I can export this to Excel. One thing I forgot is I recommend selecting include column for completion date. I don't know why that's not a standard column, but this will include a completed date. If you want to sort of whittle down your training, you can select the training types. So if I want to look at all the on-the-job training that's occurred, I can click material and click search again. And this is going to bring it down to the on-the-job training that's been created. I can narrow this down to like plant locations. I can narrow it down to individual users. Like any of the organizational unit criteria can be edited here. If I want to look at, let's say, just completed, I can select completed, click search again, and that way I'm showing all completed training. If I want to look at only online courses, I can select online class, click search, and these are the online classes that have been completed.
Look at them foremen. Yeah, I think they were going through it to kind of get a feel for it. They're the guys that kind of were picking our curriculum here.
Okay.
So
this is a report that you'll probably use more than any other report. If there are any other reporting questions that you have or any questions you have at all about using the system, then please let me know. There are hundreds of reports in the system. We have a custom reporting tool that we have almost endless possibilities of reports that can be created if you're looking for a certain type of report. And with the custom reporting, it can also be automated. So if you need any reports automated, please let me know and I'll either create the report myself, but I'd be more than happy to walk you through how to create the report on your end. In order for a report to be emailed to yourself, you would have to create the report yourself. So even if I created a custom report, you would have to personalize it and so copy it to make your own and then set your email roles. So if you have any questions about any of the advanced reporting, then please let me know. And
hopefully we will, but that's down the road.
Okay. Well, I'm going to trying to see, this recording says pause. I don't know if it recorded or not.
Oh.
I don't know, I can't get it to, we'll see. Whenever I log off the call, it's going to either download a video that I took or not.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm more than happy to jump on a call with you anytime if I don't have anything going on. Usually I'm available to jump on a quick call, so just let me know if I can help.
I think you're good.
Okay. All right, great. Well, good luck in building the curriculum. If you have any questions or anything, let me know.
All right, thanks, Dusty.
All right, thanks. You have a good week.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
I don't